The voices used in this recap are not the actual person's actual voice. It is simply an impression of that actual person. No sane celebrity would ever take credit for partaking in such foolish shenanigans. Thank you, and enjoy the recap.
Movie Town News presents Spotlight on Adventure. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, legendary filmmaker, licensed plumber, and tabernacle choir member Werner Herzog embarks to narrate the Paddington recap for the Barely Watched channel, Horrible Film Recaps.
Horrible Films recaps have blackmailed me into narrating the Paddington recap. I double-dipped a chip at a child's birthday party I was giving a eulogy for. I now bring my recording studio yacht to the Amazon jungle to witness the behaviors and the mindsets of the bear's psyche that I shall inhabit. I would have driven here, but my Honda Accord doesn't have four-wheel drive. So enjoy the journey of the self-conscious brilliance that is me, Werner Herzog. Peace out, y'all.
And now, on to our feature presentation.
The title of this cinematic work is Paddington. It stands as a harrowing meditation, a dire warning, if you will, on the profound and tragic consequences of the untamed becoming tamed. This is our planet. Its lack of color symbolizes the apathetic nature of humanity. This man flies a pollution mobile above the pristine ecosystem known as the Amazon jungle, and destroys the vegetation, which is but a small taste of the evils that humans have wrought on our ecosystems. The man spies a bear, the gentle caretakers of the jungle, and in his hubris, he denies the creature its existence. The other wild bears express their disdain for this particular human's arrogance. Soon other humans came to claim dominion over the natural world, like Miss Molly von Bearskin Eater and Sir Thomas the Animal Puncher. This human celebrates the decimation of the jungle by posing with two wild bear corpses. Many years later, the wild bear population has just started recovering from the damage inflicted upon them by the remorseless humans. The bears feast on the bountiful treasures the jungle provides. But the jungle is a cruel and hate-filled mistress. Jars of urine tumble to the ground as if to represent the abhorrence that Mother Nature has towards her own creations. The family has no choice but to endure her dispassionate wrath. The father does not survive. The young bear takes stock of all that was lost. His mother searches desperately for her mate. She cries out, hoping to hear his voice again, but finds only the reminder that life is precious and unforgivably fragile. The sun's harsh light does nothing to uplift their spirits as they come to terms with their new reality. In an act of frantic desperation, mother bear and child leave the comfort of their once safe and inviting jungle home, and when they finally reach the human's realm, mother sends her child away. She, in her quiet despair, is consumed by a singular longing to be reunited with her husband in the eternal stillness of the void. Paddington will never see her again. Naked, afraid, and alone on a human-built watercraft, the childlike bear yearns for the freedom and security of his jungle sanctuary. Knowing he can never return, the childlike bear thingamajigger takes stock of his many urine-filled jars. As the voyage goes on, he marks the passing days by emptying those jars as he dreams of his new home. But in stark contrast to the inviting foliage of the Amazon jungle, he finds naught but the cold indifference of this man-made environment. The bear child, a tragic fusion of innocence and untamed wilderness, stepped forward in a gesture of primitive communion. Yet the people, shackled by fear and civilization, saw only a thing to be avoided, an aberration that must not be acknowledged. Long past the hour when even dreams begin to decay, the child remained, suspended in a solitude so profound it bordered on the geological. His only companion, a pigeon, itself a creature of ruin, coexisting not out of affection, but out of mutual exile. There are more pigeons, but they just want to feast on Paddington's skin. A family, moved perhaps by a fleeting illusion of kindness, encounters the solitary bear. In an act both tender and misguided, they invite the creature into their home, unaware that they are welcoming into their hearth a being forged in the indifference of nature. In the confined tiled arena of the family bathroom, Paddington erupts in a cataclysmic rejection of domestication. The porcelain fixtures, symbols of sterile human order, are no match for the fury of a bear unwilling to be tamed. The toilet, an emblem of control over nature's chaos, topples, its pristine facade cracked and leaking. Paddington, drenched and unrepentant, floats amid the wreckage, his breath heavy, his eyes filled with the ancient spirit of the untamed. In this moment, the bathroom is no longer a place of human comfort, but a battlefield where the bear reclaims its essence. He stands in front of the family, almost taunting them in his defiance. Then he gets water squooshions all over the floor. The door opens to a woman draped in white. She surveys her lifeless menagerie, a grim archive of creatures torn from the embrace of the wild. In their glassy eyes and frozen forms, she sees not tragedy, but triumph, a grotesque celebration of humanity's dominion over the natural order. She also keeps a monkey in a box. The family, burdened by the weight of their own fear and discomfort, escort the bear to the slithering metal serpent that runs through the veins of the city. It is not the creature itself they fear, but the chaos it represents. And then, the bear child crosses the threshold into a shop, whose sole reason to exist is to showcase these humans the shopkeeper has cruelly miniaturized. The tiny humans are presented to the hungry shopkeeper, the bear, and some random woman who has no connection to Paddington in any way, shape, or form.
But I don't want you to liquefy my bones.
Having tasted the fleeting, pitiful resistance of the tiny humans, the bear feels a stirring deep within. It begins to seek larger prey. The hungry bear, a relentless force of nature, pursues its prey with an unerring determination. A reminder that in nature there is no escape, only the brutal reckoning of the hunter and the hunted. The bear child, shaped by a world indifferent to tenderness, is cast out of society, exiled for its brutal and unforgiving nature. Unbeknownst to this hunter, who moves with the confidence of one who believes himself the master of his domain, a far greater hunter is watching, waiting. Her only desire is to claim his body and add it to her macabre menagerie of the dead. The family, burdened by the weight of their misguided fear of the young bear, are compelled by a primal urgency to undo their error, rushing toward his salvation as if to reclaim their own humanity. Paddington, in a desperate bid for freedom, attempts his escape, only to find himself suspended precariously above the infernal chaos, a maelstrom of nature's indifference and the searing flames of human regret. The family, in a fleeting act of courage, rescues Paddington from his plight. Yet, as if summoned by the inevitability of fate, they find themselves face to face with the woman in white. It was at this time that Paddington remembered the words of Charlemagne.
Let my armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky.
Paddington awoke in his own bed. He was back with the family, a construct of warmth and belonging, an oasis against the indifference of the universe. As he walked downstairs, he was greeted by the townspeople, once enemies. Now they welcomed him into their arms. Everything was perfect. He was safe, sound, and by all appearances happy. But a single thought gnawed at his brain. It was a burden he could neither escape nor ignore, a quiet torment that reminded him of the fragility of reason in the face of the vast, unknowable forces that govern existence. For, you see, Paddington never escaped that night. In his final moments, one might see not despair, but the quiet resignation of a creature who had dared to defy his nature, only to be reminded that the human world, relentless in its order and control, would never grant him the freedom to simply exist. And so the tale reaches its inevitable conclusion, a fleeting reflection of humanity's ceaseless struggle to impose meaning on a world indifferent to its narratives. Good day to you all.
If you enjoy our nonsensical ramblings, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.